Hey guys, welcome to your 13th C# tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be talking to you about the scope of an object or variable. Now I know last time I said that the next several tutorials would be about object-oriented programming and classes and things, but which they will be after this one. This is just kind of an interlude. I was watching over my last tutorial, the 12th one, and I realized that I kind of just threw something out there that I didn't really explain why or what purpose it was, and that was when I said that whenever you create a class you need to declare all of your variables for that class outside of your methods, and in this tutorial I hope to clear that up. Now, the scope of a variable is the region of a program essentially where it can be accessed. Now, I have written some code here that may seem completely useless, and it pretty much is for right now. But once I go through this and then you go back and look at the 12th video, you'll understand why I'm making this program. So let's get started. First I declared this variable int x and I made it equal to 5, and I put program level 1. So this part of the program here up until this first curly brace and this closing curly brace down here all the way down to this console.readline statement is the program level 1. It is the first level of the program, and these two levels under here where it says int k equals 3 to this curly brace all the way down to this curly brace here, and then the rest of these are program level 2 like I typed out here in the console.writeline statement, and then all within these curly braces this is the program level 3. This is these are the three different scopes that I've defined, and you can actually make as many scopes as you want or need, but I think to get the point across that would be too cumbersome for you to even look at, and it wouldn't fit on the screen anyways. So first let me explain how this works. So whenever you're trying to access a variable from a level, you can always go down a level from like 3 to 2 or 2 to 1, but you can never go up a level. So if I made a console.writeline statement here that tried to print out the variable int y or int k, it would not work because you cannot go up a level when trying to print out a scope. You can only go down a level, which is exactly why when making a class you should always declare your variables outside of any method, because if it's outside of any method that means that it's in level 1. And when it's inside of a method, it's in level 2. You rarely ever have a level 3 or more in a class unless you're making an inner class, which that will be explained later on. And you don't do that much anyways, so most of the time you only have level 1 and level 2. So when you declare a variable, you want it to be in level 1, which is only considered being outside of any method and inside of a class, depending on what type of variable it is. Now, if it's a variable that you want to use in more than one method, then yes, you will need to declare it, and pretty much you will have to declare it basically outside of any method and inside the class so that it can be used anywhere within the class. So let's go ahead and print this out, and it just says program level 1, program level 2, program level 3, and then it says accessing the variable y from the third level, and then it says 7, accessing variable k, that's right here, from third level, accessing the variable x from the third level, and then so on and so forth from second level, first level. Now you'll see that I commented out all of these statements, and there's a reason for that. If I uncomment them out, it will give me an error message here saying the name y, and you can't see the rest of it, says does not exist in the current context. That is because I'm trying to access the variable y from outside of its scope. I can't access the variable y because it's only defined within these curly braces, and outside of it, it does not exist anymore. It's basically just a hidden variable that can only be used inside of those curly braces. I can't really think of a real-life example to explain that right now, and so I hope you just understand that, and if you don't, then just leave a comment or something, or send me a message and I'll try to explain it as best as I can. And if I get enough comments or emails saying that you don't, or messages in the inbox saying you don't understand it, then I may make another video on it just so I can try and get the point across again. But the scope of a variable is very important to understand, and it works for objects too. Any kind of user-defined object or variable can only have a certain scope. You can almost say that the same thing applies for a method, but it's somewhat different for method in the fact that you can access it even if it's not in the same scope. But that's just a special case. But as far as objects and variables go, if it's in a different scope, if it's in a different set part of the program that is, generally speaking, inaccessible from a different level, then you cannot access that variable or object. And so that's why I've told you in the last tutorial that you need to declare all of your variables outside of any method but within your class. And that's what makes them somewhat global variables almost, even though that's not really technically what they're called. So again, you can always go down a level from level 1 to level 3 to level 2, or level 2 to level 1, or even level 3 to level 1, as I showed here with the accessing the variable x from the third level. But you can never, ever, ever go up a level from program level 1 to program level 2. Why this is, I'm not sure. It's the way it's done, and your programs will normally work fine without having to worry about it. So for now, you really just need to know that you cannot access a variable from a higher level, only a lower level. So that's enough of scope of a variable. I'll see you guys in the next tutorial, and hopefully I'll be getting back to some OOP. See you then.